like a volcano.
What is up, guys? Dark Pro Gamer YT here. Welcome to the 119th episode of the MP Tune Review series, where today we are looking at... Wait, Dark, didn't you review one? No, I did not. This is the spider version of it, which honestly just looks like a slightly different version of the regular 600 LT. See, the thing is, the spider is meant to not have the roof, and they put the roof on it, so basically it just looks like a clone. Anyway, this is the McLaren 600 LT Spider, which I have tuned at 1772. The tune that I did is impressive because you will also recognize it from the MC20. It is 7-10-10-10. Good lord. Now, let's go over the stats here for it. The top speed is very impressive. It is 481 kilometers an hour. The acceleration is also impressive. It is 2.276 seconds. The handling, just like the regular 600 LT, is amazing. It's god tier. It's so smooth. The drift, though, is semi-wide. Now, here's the thing. Everybody always kept on saying this thing is really wide. It's not as wide as people say it is. It's semi-wide. Now, the nitro efficiency, the triple nitro, I have classed as mid-decent because it does drain kind of quick, but it's not like super quick. The perfect nitro, though, is decent-ish. Now, as I said, it just looks like the regular 600 LT, but just slightly different. That's really it. You know, but like I said with the 600 LT, I like the looks of it. I love the looks of it. And as I've always mentioned, upward exhausts. I am an absolute sucker for upward exhausts. I just love upward shooting flames for cars and stuff. So, yeah, you know, I like the wing is really nice on it. You know, it's not overdone. It actually, you know, lines up with it very nicely. But basically, it's just a 600 LT clone, especially since they didn't do the, since they put the roof on it. So, without a further ado, let's take it into multiplayer and see exactly how it does. And we'll talk at the end of the races to discuss my final thoughts of its performance.
There's a beauty in the way you're worn, and the sharpness of your thorns, so vibrant in the imperfection. In the pain there's something real, all that anger so concealed. Through your walls and just let me hold. Let's celebrate. Supposed to cause us harm, but these days all I do is wonder, is it better now that we can start again? 'Cause in the pain there's something real, all that anger so concealed. Through your walls and nothing, just let me hold.
And now here we are with my final thoughts for the McLaren 600 LT Spider at 1772. Wow. Oh wow. I am not gonna lie, impressed. Because I was told over and over how this car was just gonna be a boat. And I was thinking it was gonna be on the level of the SF90 XX Stradale. I thought it was gonna be on that level. But no. Now, yes, the drift radius is a bit wide. It's manageable, but it is definitely a bit noticeably wide. Manageable, like I said. But the handling, mwah, just like the base 600 LT, is just god tier smooth. It is just buttery smooth. And the perfect nitro is decent for it, thankfully, compared to its mid triple nitro. The top speed, fantastic. That is a seriously high top speed. That's crazy. Now, okay, I'm gonna say it's not anywhere near as crazy as the Demon, which is the 765 LT. That car's top speed is in a league of its own. But this is still 480, 481 kilometers an hour for a non-game loft cracked as hell car like that other one is a good top speed. That is a very impressive top speed. I recommend tuning this car for this rank because it's just absolutely fantastic with its performance. If you can manage this triple nitro and its slightly wide drift, this car can just absolutely dominate. Like, it's not even a joke how well it does. It's so funny. Now, I will say this, it does seem like the 600 LT compensates for issues that the 600 LT Spider has, and the 600 LT Spider compensates for issues that the 600 LT has. See, like the 600 LT Spider has better Excel than the base model, but the base model has better drift radius than the Spider version, and it has better nitro efficiency than the Spider version. So they really do kind of complement and, compensate each other in a way. But, I will say this, it is basically, in this version, since they didn't give it the without the roof, it's just basically a 600 LT clone that's just slightly worse with the handling and nitro. But I'm still a sucker for upward nitro. I'm sorry. I will forever be a sucker for that. Now, I got lucky with these races because if you've seen, this car throws sparks everywhere. You turn, it sparks. You hit a little bump, it sparks. This car, apparently, when most people who have said this they've had it pro'd, is a ticking time bomb. So the sparks is kind of like a moment when anytime you see them, you're always clenched, waiting for it to explode. And I have had barely any moments of that with it at this rank. So I don't know if it's a thing just at Pro or I just got lucky with the race, how many races I've done with this car. Now, I will say, I recently did have, yeah, it detonated once. Yep, it did detonate once recently. So yeah, I did have a detonation moment. So yeah, it can happen, but I will say I don't think it happens as much tuned as it does when it's at Pro. So, highly recommend tuning this car if you have it, or if you get your hands on it in a certain way, because it'll give you some fantastic results. So, that wraps up this MP Tune review. I thank you all for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next review. Peace out, everybody.